Welcome to the third and final video in the Turbo Reinstall series. Now, if you have not seen the other two videos, please feel free to go back and watch them. It'll explain why I'm doing what I'm doing and what it is I'm doing. But in this episode, it should be very quick. After part 2, all that was left was to take care of my charge pipe and my down pipe. Now the charge pipe, there's nothing special there. It's 2.5-inch pipe. I'm using steel, not aluminum, because right now I just can't weld aluminum. I have a TIG, I just haven't practiced, and I just can't do that right now. So I went with steel, and there's nothing to it. The only thing, just like the other side, I do have a coupler between the intercooler and the turbo to allow for give, right? Because the engine ultimately resides on rubber mounts, and even though they're filled in and they're somewhat solid, there is still vibration that occurs, and the intercooler is hard mounted to the body. So we do need a physical disconnect there that is flexible. So those are my only couplers all the way through, one on each side to allow for that flexing. Now the exhaust, my exhaust, I have a V-band before the turn to go under the chassis. And the reason I have it there is because I've had my prior clamps and V-bands sheared off from the road when I've bottomed out. That gets old, and I don't want to be driving around with my exhaust hanging because I've lost the clamp, so I just moved it above the curve to go into the car. So for my downpipe, I went ahead and I elected to use a Diamond Eye 4-inch downpipe for a Cummins diesel. And the reason I'm doing that is because it mates up perfectly with the Holset HX series turbo. In fact, if you go to Summit Racing or a lot of performance places and you look for a Holset downpipe for Dodge, or I think somebody in one of the comments mentioned Ford, you'll find a downpipe and they're like $100. So I don't have to go out and buy 4-inch pipe radiuses, 4-inch straight pipe pieces, or a V-band. It's all in this one pipe. So that's what I, again, elected to do, and it was very easy to get this done. So here you can see where I made a cardboard template, and given where my V-band is that I mentioned on my exhaust, it kind of sits at an interesting angle. So I made this template which will capture that angle and also the radius I need up to the turbo. So with this cardboard template, I made a jig on my router table, where I just used magnetic clamps to know where the flange on the turbo should sit, and also I think I used a block of wood to mark where the end of that downpipe should be. I cut a couple slots in the Diamond Eye downpipe that allow me to squeeze the pipe together to match the angle. And once I had that angle, I just put a little tack to hold it in place. And then I could go ahead and cut it to length. Now to match the angle on the bottom of the cardboard template, I wrapped it in real thick, heavy gauge shipping paper. And then I cut it to match the angle of the flange and slipped that piece of paper onto the Diamond Eye downpipe. I just simply traced it out, and then with the grinder, 4-inch grinder, I cut the pipe to match the angle. Then I had to weld on my old V-band, set it in place, made a few little adjustments, and then I was able to do the final welds. It went together very easy. It sits very nice in there on its own without any clamps. So there's no tension on the pipe or the turbo or the header or anything. Now when I moved to this short block and installed it, I went ahead and put a tab on my exhaust where I could mount the exhaust to the bell housing on the car. And the reason I did that was simply to make sure I could get the alignment I wanted and to take the stress off of the downpipe and the turbo. So having that little tab on the bell housing makes a lot of difference in terms of stress relief, really. My downpipe will now just lay in there. It sits really, really good. But the tab mounts to the bell housing, so that is a hard mount. and that's fine because they'll move together. However, from that point back where it mounts to the body, it needs to be just like the intercooler, there needs to be give. So I have rubber mounts from that point back where it mates by the transmission, and then in the back of the car, really I'm using the stock 123 mounts in the back. So that's really it. That's it for the charge pipe, the down pipe, and let's throw the battery in and let's see if she'll start up. So there you have it. The original turbos back on the car. Through the journey, a lot of other things did take place that kind of led me to here. It was all worthwhile, right? I painted the engine compartment. A lot of work done on that firewall. I know it may not look like it, but there are a lot of hours on the firewall. And I just spent a lot of time cleaning things up, trying to make it, making it better. So I would like to thank you for watching these videos. If even 2 seconds of any of my videos helped somebody in their project and taught them anything, what to do or what not to do, then it's all been worth it. So I'm humbled to share the things that I come across as I work on my project with people, and I wish you nothing but the best in your own project. Thanks again for watching.